Hello everyone. My name is Stuart Palmer and I am the Schools Liaison Officer at Sidney Sussex College at the University of Cambridge. In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about choosing your A-levels and hopefully give you some of the really important information that you need to make well-informed decisions that will help you both enjoy and succeed at your A-levels, but also help you down the line when it comes to making things like your university choices and future career choices. So, before we get going, I have put together a short survey that I'd really appreciate if you would be happy to fill in. If you are happy to do this, it is short and it is anonymous. Please do pause the video briefly and scan this QR code. You can just use the camera on your phone to do this. Follow the link and answer the first 3 questions. Leave the window open, and then once we've finished this video, you can do the final questions. As I say, it's very short, it's completely anonymous. You don't have to do it, but if you do have the time, that would be great. Cool. So, A-level choices. Why are they worth thinking about? Well, the most obvious place to start is that they're going to sort of define the next couple of years of your lives. So it's really important to think about them in good time and make sure you've got as much information available to you in order to make well-informed choices. Because you're going to want to be doing subjects that you're passionate about, or that at the very least you enjoy studying, and also that you're good at, so you can succeed and get the good grades that you want in order to move on to the next stages of your life. So making sure you make the decisions for the right reasons is super important. It's good to think that, your A-levels are also important for defining the next steps of your lives. Where you can go after college, after school, can be dependent in some senses on what you choose to do for your A-levels. So in this video, I will talk a bit about how your A-level choices can define what is available to you next, because your choices do have quite a significant impact on the sort of course options that are available to you at university. So if you are interested in going to university, then it's really important that you think about that now before you make your A-level choices. In terms of the things that you can help you when it comes to choosing, and some of the things that I'm going to talk about in this short video, obviously a great place to start is your own research, and you're already doing that. You're watching this video. I'm sure you've already started researching the differences between different A-level courses, benefits and negatives of those, and already really started to think about what you enjoy and what you're good at. And that's the most important thing to sort of start with, is your own thoughts, your own research. And whether that be online, I will talk about some resources at the end of this video that you can maybe look at if you haven't done so already online. Or whether that be speaking to your teachers, speaking to your friends and family about their own opinions, and getting as much information as you can to balance out your own thoughts and sort of guide you on what you want to do next. It's also worth thinking about what you already enjoy doing, because that will obviously give you a really good guide, and what you want to do next. Where do you want to go in terms of your next steps after college? That should be important here as well. And finally, something that is probably quite important to bear in mind as well is what is on offer at the college that you're going to be studying at for your A-levels. Different colleges offer different portfolios of A-levels, different portfolios of qualifications, things like EPQs and all that. So it's important to find that information out as well, because that will obviously have a bearing on what is available to you. So yeah, a great starting point is to think about what you already enjoy doing. And that can mean anything. That can mean in subject terms. Are you someone that is interested in the sciences, the biological sciences, the physical sciences? Are you more interested in the mathematics and engineering side of the sciences? That can all of those sorts of things can help you think about what sort of pairings of A-levels you might want to do. Are you someone more predisposed to the arts, the humanities, the social sciences? Like, all of those things are important to bear in mind, and be honest with yourself as well. It's really important at this stage to start thinking about what kind of skills you possess, how you learn best, and how you sort of operate best in a sort of learning environment. If you're someone that really enjoys like close reading, essay writing, and things like that, choose A-levels that play to those skills, because you're going to spend the next 2 years of your life studying and working hard for your A-levels. You should be doing something that you really enjoy. Likewise, if you're someone that's really interested in something like languages, or if you have a real skill for languages, then exploit that skill, because those will set you in really good stead going forward. Same with things like mathematical. If you're really good at mathematical skills and things like that, then explore the different options available that harness those skills, whether it be something quite obvious, like doing maths or further maths or physics, or something that's a bit more left field, like an economics A level. All of those things are worth thinking about. So think about what you enjoy doing now. And again, talk to the people around you as well. Like, don't necessarily trust just your own opinion on this. Talk to your teachers, talk to your family, talk to your friends. And it's really important to come at this from your own angle, from your own perspective. You shouldn't be choosing A levels just because they're the ones that your friends are choosing, because you want to be in a class with your friends for the next 2 years. Because although that might seem important now, further down the line, it really won't. So choose things that are right for you now and in your future. That's the most important thing. And also looking ahead, super important. So really, if you are planning on aiming for applying to university, to a highly selective university, then it's really good to start thinking about those things now. Not necessarily in super sort of detailed terms, but just start thinking about what kind of university you might want to aim for and what sort of university course you might want to aim for, because that can help you narrow down your A-level choices as well. So when you're looking through universities, obviously, like, go to the UCAS website as a great starting point, and you'll be able to like explore different locations, different types of universities. You'll be able to see all the different facilities on offer at different places. You can think about this in loads of different terms. There are lots of things that can help guide you, whether it be the different social life, the different bursaries and financial support on offer at different universities. The most important thing to bear in mind when it comes to thinking about university and the sort of that part of your future is the course, though. That's the real key. Think about what kind of course you want to be studying and let that really guide your decision making, because like your A levels are going to define the next 2 years of your sort of school life, the course will define the 3 or more years of your time at university. So really do think about, again, similar to what I was saying about thinking about what you're good at and what you enjoy, think about that when it comes to your course as well. What do you want to study? And explore all the different things that maybe are unfamiliar to you as well. So start factoring in that kind of research, I would say, at this stage. Think about what sort of university you might be interested in. And again, looking forward, obviously, you can start thinking maybe in sort of loose terms about what kind of career you might be looking for beyond university. And again, that will help you make these decisions now. And obviously, some careers require a very specific degree, vocational degrees, we call those. If you want to be an architect, you need to have an architecture degree. If you want to be a doctor, you'll need a medicine degree. Things like that, quite straightforward. Like me with my doctorate in history, I'm not allowed to go and perform surgery, and that's probably a very good thing. You want people that have done vocational degrees doing those very vocational professions. So if you know already that you want to be a surgeon, a doctor, a vet, an architect, an engineer, then you should be aiming to do your degree in that, and you can start thinking about what A-levels best will give you the sort of transferable skills that will help you get onto a degree program in that. So that will really help. There are also a few other sort of jobs, a few other career paths that do require other degree subjects. So certain careers within the commercial or business world will require things like a maths degree or a language degree. But this is quite a small subsection of careers. So don't necessarily let that really guide you too much, because for the most part, the vast majority of careers out there actually really don't require a specific degree subject to get into them. What most graduate careers, what most graduate jobs you'll see advertised ask for is just a good degree. They call them good degrees. And that just means the good just refers to the grade of the degree. So typically a first class degree or a 2-1. Second class higher is sometimes how that's referred to. And those are just the top 2 tiers of degree classification. So like an A and a B, or an A star and an A in that sort of term. So if you're interested in being a lawyer, you don't necessarily need to study law at university. If you want to go into the business world or into accountancy and finance, you don't need to do economics necessarily. People go into these careers with all sorts of different degrees. So when you think about university, again, think about what you want to study, what you will be happiest studying, and what you have the best skills for. So That's just worth bearing in mind at this stage. Going back to choosing your A-levels, so if you already know what you want to study at university, you're really lucky, because most people really won't at your stage, and that's completely normal. The vast majority of students really don't make up their mind until much later on about what they want to do at university. But if you do know, then that's great. That's going to really help you at this stage when it comes to choosing your A-levels, because you can just go to the UCAS website and you can just look at the different subjects suggested to best prepare you for the degree you're wanting to study. The Complete University Guide also has a really useful function that sort of, you can look at the different degrees and it will tell you the best A-levels to take to prepare for that. Similarly, if you know you want to study at specific universities, highly selective universities like Cambridge or Oxford, or any of the sort of Russell Group or top 25 universities, you can start looking at their websites, at their prospectuses, and see if their courses have any prerequisites. And when I say prerequisites, those are the A-levels they require you to have taken in order to apply for the course. So it's a really great time to start exploring that now, and that can help you make your A-level choices. If you've already chosen as well, if you've already sort of made up your mind about your A-levels, then take this time to really explore your subject, develop the skills that are related to that subject. I'll give you some ideas for resources on this at the end of this video, and we have other videos on this on our channel. So do think about using this time that you have now to, do some extra reading, listen to some extra podcasts, watch a couple of lectures on YouTube, do some bits and pieces here and there to help develop your understanding of the subject you're interested in. It will really pay off, both in terms of your GCSE and your A-level results, but also just developing those sorts of soft skills that will really help you when it comes to university. And as I say, do look at the different course prerequisites that are listed on university websites, because they don't always make sense. So different courses, as I say, will have different prerequisites. So here's just a quick example. If you took these three A-levels, if you took physics, English literature, and biology at A-level, which of these university courses do you think you'd be able to apply for successfully? Physics, philosophy, or medicine? Now, obviously, it would seem that if you'd taken physics and biology, you'd be quite safe applying to a physics course at university. But actually, you'd probably struggle at a number of universities. A lot of the again, top 25 or Russell Group universities for physics require you to have a maths A-level. The physics A-level actually isn't a prerequisite for most university physics courses. Now, that's not to say that most people that apply to physics at university don't have an A-level in physics. Rather, that universities see the most sort of important skill for you to have to apply to a university level physics course is maths. And therefore, a maths A-level is the pre-required A-level for you to have. Similarly, medicine, it might seem that having a biology A-level would put you in good stead to apply for a medicine course, and having two sciences would also be a good thing. But actually, the most common prerequisite for a medic course is chemistry. So it's really important to make sure you have the proper pairings of A-levels as well. So instead of having physics and biology, you'd really want biology and chemistry, and ideally another science as well. However, for something like philosophy, you'd be absolutely fine applying with these three A-levels. Philosophy very rarely has any pre-required A-level choices for it, but having something like English literature, an essay-based course, will put you in really good stead to apply for philosophy. And having two science A-levels alongside it looks really good as well. So that combination of A-levels would put you in a really strong position to apply for something like philosophy, or lots of arts and humanities degrees. And if it's something like archaeology or history, you'd be in very good, strong standing with those three A-levels. So that's kind of what I mean. On the face of it, this looks like three good A-levels to apply to all three of those degrees, but actually you'd be struggling with physics and medicine without chemistry for medicine or maths for physics. Now, if you don't know what you want to do at university, you're in the majority, which is fine. It is absolutely fine not to know what you want to do. It will take time. And once you get onto your A-level courses, you'll start to do, A-levels are more academic than GCSEs. You'll get a better understanding of like that deeper level of study. It will help you think about university more as well. It will give you a better understanding of the subjects. So it does take time to really narrow things down. But do start reflecting on what you really enjoy. Do you think you're going to be aiming for something in the sciences? Do you think you're going to be aiming for something in the arts and humanities or in the social sciences? And use that to kind of give you some guidelines, because that will help you think, okay, when it comes to university, I'll need certain skills, whether it be essay writing skills, reading skills, technical math skills, anything like that, language skills. And that will help you, again, think about what kind of skills you might want to develop during your A-levels. Now, keeping your options open is obviously a good idea, keeping your options open using your A-level choices, but it can be tricky. So I'm just going to run through some of the sort of best pairings that might help you to keep your options open if you're still unsure of what you want to do. So if you're interested in the arts and social sciences, the sort of keystone subjects, the sort of core subjects that I would really steer you towards in terms of making up 2 or 3 of your A-level choices would be English literature, history, maths, or a language. All of these are really great to have on your list of A-levels. For languages, it can be any sort of modern language, or if your college offers it, something like Latin is also seen as a very positive choice. Obviously, English literature and history are just very good for developing your essay writing and close reading skills, which will be useful for any arts or social sciences degree. And maths is just the great sort of all-round A-level. No university admissions tutor is sort of sad to see maths on someone's A-level choices. So if you enjoy maths, if you're good at maths, I would probably advise taking it for in pretty much all senses, because it's just a very good skill to have. Other sort of good choices that are likely to be useful are things like philosophy, economics, further maths. Any of these would make up a really good sort of third choice for your A-levels. Obviously, if I'm not this isn't to say that other A-levels aren't useful as well, but this is just for keeping your options open. So 2 of those keystones and 1 of these additional ones would be a perfectly good combination of things. And again, depending on what course you're applying for, these are also really good choices. English language is a tricky one because if you're applying to university level English degrees, often the prerequisite will be English literature rather than English language. You can get around that sometimes, but it's just worth bearing in mind. The English literature A-level is more common as a prerequisite for an English degree than English languages. So all of those are really good choices. And again, if you're thinking about sort of heading towards a law degree or a psychology degree or something, or an archaeology degree, then picking the A-level in that is probably a good idea, but not a prerequisite. Now, in sciences and mathematics, it can be a bit more tricky to keep your options open because more degrees have sort of more stringent prerequisites. But the keystone subjects are essentially the sciences: biology, chemistry, physics, and maths. Within those, there are some common pairings. So biology and chemistry are a common pair, chemistry and physics are a common pair, and physics and maths are a common pair. If you really don't know where in the sciences you're heading, then it's probably a good idea to pick 3 sciences. That will keep your options the most open. And picking something like biology, chemistry, physics, chemistry, physics, maths, physics, further maths would probably be a good idea. Other good choices are obviously further maths. Further maths is a very valuable A-level to have. If you're thinking about applying to something like engineering, physics, economics even, further maths is a really valuable A-level to have, and it is a prerequisite for a number of mathematical-based courses at places like Cambridge, Oxford, Warwick, UCL, sort of very highly selective universities will look for further maths in their applicants. So if you have it available to you, it is worth checking out. If your college doesn't offer further maths, but you want to take it, look at research things like the Advanced Maths Support Program, where you can gain access to it through their program. So that would be the sort of advice I'd give on further maths. It's a very valuable one to have, especially if you're leaning towards a very technical mathematical degree. Doing an essay-based contrast subject, again, is a good idea if you are really not sure where you want to go. Having two sciences, an essay-based A-level will open up a lot of doors in both the arts and humanities and in some science and mathematics degrees. So that can be a good option as well. And again, depending on if you're sort of leaning towards a certain area of the sciences, you can pick some of these more technical A-levels. Something like psychology obviously steers you towards certain areas. Something like computing or coding or something like that will help you aim for certain things at university level. So that's sort of how you can keep your options open. It's worth remembering a few things, though, when you're sort of making your final decisions. I'm often asked about 4 A-levels, especially for people applying to Oxford and Cambridge. Should I do 4 A-levels? Will that put me in a stronger position? My advice for that would be no. It doesn't necessarily it doesn't give you an advantage over someone that's done 3 A-levels, because at the end of the day, most university admissions, they will only ever ask you for 3 grades. They'll ask for 3 A-levels. They won't ever, like, if you're doing 4, they'll make you an offer on 4 A-levels, but if you're doing 3, they won't ask for a 4th, if you know what I mean. So it's more important to get 3 really strong grades in 3 A-levels, and that is better than getting 4 slightly lower A-levels in 4 subjects. So, 3 A-levels, A star, AA is better than having 4 A's. So don't spread yourself too thin. If you're really confident doing 4 A-levels and you want to do 4, fine. But if you're more happy doing 3, you're not going to be in a disadvantage, especially if you end up getting better grades than you would if you did a 4th. It's also worth, again, when you're making this, remember that some universities don't accept certain A-levels. These are things like general studies, and there are lists of these on most university websites, but they are things like nursing, and those more vocational A-levels often are not accepted as A-levels at certain, because they're just not seen as very good academic preparation for university level study. So just bear that in mind if you are looking at certain A-levels like that. I would really stress that this is a time that you can try something new as well. There are lots of really interesting and exciting A-levels out there in terms of things like that you won't have studied before, whether it be archaeology, whether it be classical civilizations, whether it be something like further maths that is going to be that much more technical than your GCSE level study. So don't be afraid to try something new. That can be really exciting and provide you with a really great couple of years of study. It's also really important to make sure in the next sort of few months and years that you do remember to take some time out for your own well-being. It is a very stressful time in terms of choosing A-levels, thinking about your future. Take some time within that to, reflect on your own well-being and take some time out for that as well, and build that into your schedule of studying and research, because it's really, really important. So that's really most of my advice on what to do now. Some extra ideas for resources when it comes to again continuing this A-level research. The Informed Choices website is fantastic, designed by the Russell Group universities to show you different prerequisites for different courses. So do go there. discoveruni.gov is also a really, really good resource to use as well. Very impartial and very exhaustive advice available there. Longer term, obviously, talk to teachers, talk to friends, family about where you might want to end up at university and beyond that. The UCAS website is the best place to go. Discover Uni is another great impartial website to use in terms of looking at lots of different universities all at once. Lots of universities are running online open days and things like that right now. Cambridge and Sidney, Sussex, we're running a lot of these sessions, so you can sort of get a little glimpse into the universities and how subjects are taught there. So do keep an eye out for those sorts of opportunities if you want to do a bit of extra research. And in terms of preparing as well for the next few steps in your sort of path, focus on your GCSEs, focus on your studies now. That will really set you in good stead. As I say, keep exploring beyond your schoolwork if you have the time and the mental space for it, because that will again give you just that extra level of knowledge on what you're interested in. So some really great resources in terms of like supercurricular exploration. Do things like, read, whether it be a book, journals, articles, anything like that. Watch things online, watch documentaries, watch lectures, watch TED Talks, listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks. Like all of these things are really great ways to just keep exploring the subjects you're interested in. There are big lists of these resources available both on the Sidney Sussex website and on various university websites as well. And I'm sure your schools and your colleges will have good advice on this as well. So if you have any more questions or anything on this, you are welcome to get in touch with me direct or with the college direct at this address. But have fun exploring your subjects, have fun making these choices, and thank you for watching.